All right, we've got another problem here that's popped up on Facebook. I'm seeing some correct answers, a lot of wrong ones. 4 plus 3 times the quantity, 5 minus 2. You remember the order of operations. You know that you solve inside of parentheses first. 5 minus 2 is 3. Then multiplication comes next outside of the parentheses. You've got 3 times 3 is 9. 4 plus 9 is 13. Order of operations. A lot of people are getting this wrong, giving an answer of 21. They're just blindly solving left to right. They're adding 4 plus 3, getting 7. Then they're multiplying it by the 3 that's inside of the parentheses after you solve that. And they're just taking 7 times 3 and getting 21. And that is incorrect. It's never been correct to blindly solve left to right. You always follow the order of operations. And I often see a lot of really ridiculous arguments saying that, well, the order of operations only applies in algebra. That's not true. That's complete nonsense. I'm not even sure where that false statement ever got started. The order of operations applies to algebraic and non-algebraic expressions and equations. It applies whether or not you have parentheses or brackets. Now you take the formula for the area of a circle. This pretty old formula. Most people recognize A equals pi r squared. If anybody knows how to solve the area of a circle, you know that r squared is solved first. Why is that? That's because your exponents are solved first. If you remember parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction, or maybe the acronym PEMDAS, you recognize that exponents are solved before multiplication. R squared is solved. You square the radius before you multiply by pi. It's the same is true if you understood BODMAS, which is brackets, orders, division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. You would do you solve the orders before you do multiplication or division. This applies to algebraic and non-algebraic expressions. I hear the same arguments all the time. I hear people say, well, it only applies in algebra. Oh, and you only worry about this if you have parentheses, and those are two false arguments. Parentheses are just grouping symbols. Exponents are shorthand for multiplication. 5 squared is the same thing as 5 times 5. That's why if you don't have parentheses, you look for exponents next. And then after you solve exponents, you look for multiplication and division, going left to right. Multiplication is just shorthand for addition. 5 times 5 is the same thing as 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. It's much easier to write 5 times 5 than it is to add up all those numbers and write them out. Division and multiplication have equal precedence. You do not solve multiplication before division, and you don't say that you always do division before multiplication. A lot of people, unfortunately, memorize those acronyms like PEMDAS and BODMAS, and they just assume that those are all a 6-step checklist. Division is simply multiplying by a reciprocal. So multiplication and division are equal. You just solve them left to right in the order you find them. And addition and subtraction have equal precedence. Subtraction is just adding a negative number. So the correct answer to the problem is 13, and that's it.